Well, hey there, folks. It's John Boy here, and we're getting into the match against Dan, which is really cool. A lot of the stuff that he has there, I pretty much expected him to bring. Um, the Savali is always a wild card, but I ended up going for Marshadow and Raven because I can't be faked out. Raven can, of course. Bringing Bertha in the back, and of course my Thunderous to get off some nice damage. So we'll go ahead and get into the match here against Dan. He throws out Savali and Sableye. So looking with Frisk, I did predict this correctly that he would probably bring the Fairy because it matches up pretty well into my team, and Fairy is a pretty overpowered type, honestly. Well, I decided to just go for some damage and hit that Sableye because Sableye's usually cause a ruckus. So I go for the Spectral Thief, and I believe here I go for an Ally Switch to get that off. Well, he protects, which is very nice, and I'm able to get off some clean damage there. Will-O-Wisp, though, goes into Raven, burning that instead of my guy, and get off some pretty sweet damage there. So, faced with a decision if I want to go for the ally switch again, or go into the future sight. Well, I go into the future sight just to get off some damage into Savali, and I'm thinking that maybe they'll assume I'm going to ally switch again. There's always these mind games with ally switch, but of course I don't, and he does predict that correctly. Get hit with the Will-O-Wisp, but I do take out Sableye, and he gets off the Tailwind. So very nice use of Tailwind there, making him pretty fast because Marshadow is a very fast mon, so he knows his speed tiers. So we're getting into his next mon that comes out, and if I believe right, it's Primarina, which is a problem for me. Since both my mons are burned, and Primarina's got some nice fairy type attacks. So I got two fairies on the field, and here I really do want to redirect away from Marshadow, because I'm assuming he's going to try to take it out. So I do that and switch into Thunderous, so next turn I can start setting up Thunderous with some nasty plots, or in the very least get off some Thunder Waves to cripple his speed. Well, he goes for the max in a dive ball, which is a very nice look for Primarina. I'm glad they released the Gen 7 starters in there. Well, you could catch them in max raid dens. Anyway, I get hit by a multi-attack, and he double targets into that slot, which was a very good call on his end. So Raven is unscathed except for the burn damage, and one of my win cons is defeated. Well, I think I want to save Marshadow for later, so I bring out Bertha here to add a little bit of aggression, I guess, on the field. And I was debating on maybe taking out Savali or hitting it hard and building my special defense, but I decided to get up the sand, and I really don't want him to take out Rhyperior. I'm assuming he's going to target it down. So I go ahead and go for the ally switch, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, I go for the future sight. So, and that's always the thing with that. It's like, does he predict that I'm going to switch or not? So there I went for future sight, and I believe I called it correctly. He targets down Raven there, yep. And I do have the Citrus Berry, which is very nice. He goes for the Max Geyser, not into Rhyperior. And then I'm able to get up the sand, which is really cool. So I'll get the max rockfall, get a fair amount of damage, and get the sand up, which really helps. Get some chip, and then of course raises my special defense. And we're gonna get that future sight attack off, and we're doing okay here. So, except I'm burned, which is unfortunate. Here, I do want to raise my special defense. And I think that he might go for a protect. He might think that I'm going for a max steel spike. So I go for the feint just to get off some damage and, put the fear into him that I've got feint. Well, he goes for a multi-attack, and I do have the berry, so I live it. Goes for a max geyser, and here I get hit. I didn't calc for hydro cannon, unfortunately, so it was base 150. 30% chance to take me out, and it sure did. So, big props to him for bringing the Hydro Cannon, which I suppose is pretty standard. So here I just go off for an attack. I could hit Savalli, but I'm not going to knock it out. So I go into Primarina just because it has lower health, and he does end up using Protect on it, which is too bad, and ends up knocking me out with the Savalli. So very, very proud of that thing, putting in some good work. So, I noticed in the first game that if I had brought Roserade, I would have had a much better matchup. So here, I kind of go for the plan of bringing Roserade in. Now, I do have to watch out for that Kyurem, because, of course, it's an Ice Dragon. But I do go into Rose, if I remember correctly. And if I remember, I do bring out Raven. I am sitting on it for a little bit here, as you can see. But I am thinking that maybe, we got Thundurus, and then I believe I bring Mr. Mime and Bertha in the back. Yeah, but in any case, I am thinking here that I do want to go into Roserade. That was the biggest thing, and then I want to bring some big support in the back. Yeah, Mr. Mime in the back, and Bertha as my big hitter. But, Roserade matches up pretty well, especially to the fairy types. The only thing is that Kyurem, so has the same lead as last time. And of course, I bring out Rose, and I say, well, I want to get rid of that good old-fashioned Savalli there, and I want to set up a nasty plot just in case he brings out his Kyurem. So I want to be able to hit it pretty hard, or at least start setting up to get some momentum. So kind of throw off the threat levels there. If he doesn't attack into Thundurus, then he'll be prone to getting nasty plot. Try to play those mind games. He goes for a Quash here, gets the Tailwind off, and I go for the Max Ooze and knock out Savalli. So raise my special attack. So I'm doing pretty well there on the special attack. I'm +3 on Thundurus and +1 on Roserade. Well, I didn't think he would bring Encore. That didn't cross my mind. So here, of course, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to use Thunder Wave. He does have the Tailwind up, but if I can hit him with Thunder Wave, then I might be able to outspeed or get the Paralyze and hit him pretty hard with a, I think it was the Fairy move, if I'm not mistaken. But goes for Encore, so that doesn't work out. And since he maxes, he's got enough juice to knock out Rose there with a Max Hailstorm. So that's a pretty powerful attack. I do have a fair amount of special defense investment, but it's hard to survive against a Kyurem. I mean, it's a legendary for a reason. So we go into the Shadow here. No, I'm pretty sure, I bring out Bertha. Just to get off some damage onto that Kyurem and get the Rock Slide off. And then I say, well, I'll stay in with Thundurus because Encore will hopefully, I know it has 3 turns of it, so I'm just going to go ahead and stick in because I'm assuming he would think I would switch out. And during that time, I can build up my special attack and hopefully survive with Bertha here, not get KO'd or whatever. He goes for the Max Hailstorm again, and I do use the berry. It is weakened, but it still knocks me out because Kyurem is a beast. Well, speaking of beasts, I was a little neutered there, Rhyperior, because I got burned, which is too bad. So I bring out Mr. Mime here, and my poor beast here that's burned. I go for the Rock Slide, but it's kind of a feeble attempt. And I go for the Dazzling Gleams. It's a special attack on both, so we've got the Protect there. Goes for the Taunt. Good move, but I've got my Berry, and then I'm also Filter, so I survive that. And I go for the big damage here with the Dazzling Gleam, so it does a pretty good chunk to cure him and knocks out Sableye. But I've got a pretty big threat up there. Got the burn and the hail damage there. So he brings out Primarina, which is bad news for me, because I don't have a very good way to hit it. Of course, Rock Slide's going to do okay, but man, Dazzling Gleam, I don't think it's going to cut it. So it's basically game after this. Not to say that I'm discounted out of it. I mean, I guess I could have used Follow Me, but then he's got the Hyper Voice and powered up by his Liquid Voice ability. So, I mean, that's just going to hit both of us anyway. So he does outspeed, hits me hard, uses the Hyper Voice, knocks me out, and that's game. So great game with Dan there. Yeah, always a great opponent to go up against, and yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care.